Okay, welcome back to our PCM 25 career mode, to the second episode of Season 3. In the last episode, we took on the Santos Tour Down Under, and we were very consistent with Lukas Kubic in the sprints. But actually, in the end, it was Balint Veldhofer that was our best rider in GC, finishing 5th. And after that race, Dacia Sirocco for Endurance is now 4th in the World Tour ranking. Honestly, a pretty solid start to the season. Anyway, in today's episode, we'll take one step back and focus on some smaller races like the Mallorca Challenges and Valenciana, because that's an opportunity for our lesser riders. For example, this race, Trofeo Calvia, the first Mallorca Challenge, will have probably Javier Serrano as our leader. I think he may or may not have podiumed this race last season. Anyway, 72 hill, 72 sprint, not exactly the best rider, so I'm hoping for a podium. Okay, starting off with a 0 day on Serrano, which means 74 hill stat. That's actually pretty solid. Completely unrelated to this race, but I must confess, when we started this series, I was super hyped about building this Sirocco for Endurance team, but then in Season 1 we had lots of small bugs in the game that made it much less fun for me, like the difficulty bug that made it so easy to win 6 Vuelta stages in our first season. So yeah, at the start of the second season, I wasn't exactly happy about how the series was unfolding, and I felt a lack of immersion, especially because our previous series from the year before, Rembe Pro Cycling, was so good from start to finish. But now, at the start of this third season, I feel like the narrative that's been developing, that's been unfolding, is really fun, and our team is in this perfect position with a mix of riders that started the team to begin with, and a mix of riders that is young and upcoming. Basically, I'm hoping that you're as hyped as me for this third season, because I genuinely can't wait to see where this team goes. In the last 33 kilometers of this race, and our position in the peloton is not exactly perfect, and in the meanwhile, there's quite a few riders trying to attack, but it's not my responsibility to respond to that, and I couldn't if I wanted, because I'm in Narnia. Slowly but surely making our way over every climb. The peloton's down to roughly 45 people, so that's quite thin, but Serrano is still here, so that's nice. Anyway, the climbs are basically behind us with 11 kilometers to go. There's a couple riders off the front, but the gap is like 10 seconds, so not too scared about that. It's now about positioning Serrano as best as possible. But I think the key will be being in fast position for that last downhill. There we go. Perfect by Pericas. Now sprint downhill. Arieta in the wheel and Serrano is in perfect position for the sprint. Let's do this. Arieta can launch already, why not? It's 2 kilometers to the line and it becomes flat with 1k to go. Let's wait with Serrano, in the wheel of Arieta. This is perfect. Launch right now on the left side of Arieta. There goes Javier Serrano with Morgado on the right side trying to come past, but no! Javier Serrano is the winner of the Trofeo Calvia. There we go, that's a dubski. Like, winning with our best riders is fun, but winning with a lesser rider in our team like Javier Serrano is so much more rewarding. Wait a second, Javier Serrano won a World Tour race at Itzulia Basque Country last season? I gotta say, I completely forgot about that. I would say that's a pretty good start to this episode, but lots of racing to come. Anyway, before we go to our next race, I want to talk about our finances, because last episode I mentioned it's not exactly looking too rosy. Right now, our money is set to go into the red in July, but I think I can improve this a little bit. There's only a single rider in our team, Antonio Pedrero, with a traditional training style, and I've got a coach for traditional training style, especially for him. But I don't really feel like paying for a coach for a single rider, so I'm gonna fire this coach. Why not? There we go. Okay, I swear the point at which we're projected to go into the red moved up by a single centimeter to the right, so not exactly the effect I was hoping for. Now, for the people that don't know, the effectiveness of a trainer is completely dependent on the number of riders that a trainer is training. For example, Javier Sola is excellent effectiveness because the number of riders he's training is 8. Once that number goes above 8, for example, Anthony Schwela right here with 12 riders, then he becomes less effective. So the point I'm trying to make is, we've got 9 riders across 2 modern style trainers at the moment. Technically, I could fire one of those trainers and then there would be one trainer with 9 riders, which is not exactly perfect, but we can't exactly afford perfect training. So yeah, Juan Fernandez, I'm sorry buddy, but you're fired. And if you look really closely, and I'm saying really closely, then our finances look a little bit better. But I gotta say, I'm having to squint to see the difference. Okay then, time for our next race, the Trofeo Ses Salines, and it's a flat sprint with Jordi Meus as the favorite. I think Sergi Darder might be our leader here with 73 sprint and 72 acceleration, so not exactly fantastic, or Zak Ertzen with 72 sprint and 78 acceleration. Honestly, I'll decide in the race who I'll go for, and I'm hoping for a top 10. Ay, Zak Ertzen with a -1, 77 acceleration, so going down in that we've got Darder with a 0 day, so 74 sprint. He's gonna be our leader. Despite his bad daily form, Ertzen is still a pretty solid third last man with 75 flat stats, so that is nice. Anyway, 11 kilometers to go and our sprint train is on the rails. Come on, 4.3 kilometers, perfect lead out as we speak. We've got Ertzen ready to launch pretty soon from the wheel of Alvarez right now. Why not? Alvarez out of the way, buddy. Serrano is ready for the lead out. Come on, team. We will launch with Ertzen right now. Serrano in the wheel looking perfect. Launches right now. Darder, come on. Right now in the last kilometer, we've got Meus in our wheel, Tesson in our wheel. Sergi Darder. Oh my god. He won. That is crazy. I was expecting a top 10. This man just beat Jordi Meus. And I gotta say, that was probably one of the best leadouts our team has ever done. Ooh la 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 la. 73 sprint stat against Jordi Meus, Lund Andresen. Those are proper sprinters. Okay, well, I see what's happening. We were so successful as a team in this episode that UAE Team Emirates started panicking and decided to send Tadej Pogačar to the Mallorca challenges. Like, maybe Javier Serrano can survive the big climb and then sprint at the finish line, but I'm not completely sure. So we might have to go for Pericas, who does not have a sprint, or perhaps Arieta with 66 sprint, which is not fantastic either. Anyway, let's try to beat Tadej Pogačar, I guess? Oh la la, starting off with a +2 race day condition on Igor Arieta, so he might be our leader. 78 hill stat and 67 sprint, so I reckon we can work with that. In the meanwhile, Javier Serrano with a -1 on the day, but still 73 hill stat, so maybe could get over the climb. Looking at the size and steepness of this climb, it's about a 50-50 to me. Oh snap, 50k to go, and there's a split in the peloton before the big climb, and Serrano is actually behind. Minutes behind it. It's a minute 20, so we're gonna have to go for Igor Arieta with Pericas and Castellon, which is still pretty solid. But the tempo in this fast group is actually so significant that I'm having to go 89 just to stay in the group with Arieta, so this is crazy. There's a certain Tadej Pogačar whose team is shredding the peloton.
12 seconds later.
Oh snap, attacked by Tadej Pogačar and immediately a gap of 30 seconds on the group, and Pericas is now protecting Arieta. I don't feel like responding already, the gap is 30 seconds, but it's not my responsibility. Like, we've made it over the top and the gap is 55 seconds to Tadej Pogačar, 27 kilometers to go and not much climbing left, so I think we're fighting for P2. I think the victory is to Pogačar. But actually, there's not a single teammate in this second group, so what if I just attack with Arieta over the top as we speak? There we go. Pericas sits up and we've got a gap and we're looking pretty good for P2. 6.5 kilometers to go and the gap from Pogačar to Arieta is a minute and 40 seconds, but the gap from Arieta to the group behind is a minute 15, so second place is basically secure. Not exactly surprising, but Tadej Pogačar wins and Igor Arieta is gonna finish in second place, but he is completely empty, but still a wonderful performance. Top 3 in the pocket. And actually, Adria Pericas securing third place in the sprint, so P2 and P3. Like, sure, we didn't win the race, but getting second and third behind Tadej Pogačar is the best result we could have gotten at this race. So yeah, that's 3 pretty perfect races so far. Now, I am a bit less confident in this fourth race, the Trofeo Andratx, basically a punchy finish with Tadej Pogačar once again at the start line. I think our leader is Iker Mintegi with 75 hill stat, but maybe for a top 10, I don't expect more. Oh, actually, Javier Serrano with a +2 race day condition means 76 hill stat. That is better than Iker Mintegi's 75, so Serrano is our leader. Just about 30 kilometers to go in this race, and in this peloton, people are dropping like flies. I'm desperately trying to survive with Serrano and the rest of the team, but I've basically got 3 riders left and the tempo keeps on going. Okay, it took blood, sweat and tears, but with 16 kilometers to go, Serrano is still in the peloton of 41 riders, and I've got 2 teammates in Mintegi and Noval, and of course, only a single climb left. The last 3-ish kilometers. Come on team, 4.8 kilometers to go in a perfect position before the downhill towards the final climb. There we go, 2.6 kilometers to go, the climb is starting. We've got Mintegi in our wheel who can take over when it comes to protection and attack already by Tadej Pogačar from the get-go, and I'm just trying to follow. On 91, 92, 93, should have started the climb a bit faster I think, but I'm still looking pretty okay in the last kilometer as we speak. Come on Serrano, come on, come on, come on, keep moving up, keep moving up. Right now, Serrano goes on the right side of the road and we're gonna finish maybe on the podium. Now we got blocked by Aramburu. Aramburu blocked us. Otherwise, a podium might have happened then. Pogačar gets beaten by his own teammate, by Torres. We finish in 4th or 5th place. I think it's 4th place, so that's pretty solid. I do think Serrano could have podiumed that race if I played a little bit better, but 4th place is acceptable. Like, we can't win everything, you know? Anyway, the final Mallorca challenge is a pretty simple one, a flat sprint in Palma de Mallorca, Cees Bol as the favorite. But of course, Sergi Darder comes from a victory against Jordi Meus, so my hopes are high. I feel like I won a podium. Okay, that is a perfect start. +2 race day condition on Sergi Darder, so 75 sprint. That's awesome. I'm actually not the biggest fan of this parkour because with about 2 kilometers to go, there's this U-turn that you need to have a perfect timing with your lead out, so we gotta focus on that. 4 kilometers to go, Alvarez is leading, Serrano in the wheel is ready to take over. We've got Red Bull on the left side of the road, looking pretty ready as well, but let's launch right now before the actual U-turn with Serrano. This is a risk, but I think it might be worth it. Edson will launch right now from the wheel and Darder is ready for the final kilometer. Looking pretty fantastic. There we go, Darder. This is your moment once again. Second time. Why not? Lund Andresen on the right is gonna beat us. Oh, but a 2nd place for Sergi Darder. What a fantastic run by this man. He's cooking. Sure, this time it's not a victory, but a 2nd place is a fantastic result. Especially for a dude with only 73 sprint and 72 acceleration, so not amazing stats. Anyway, I think it's fair to say our Mallorca challenges were pretty successful, but now it's time to go to Valenciana. A 5-day stage race with actually a pretty fun parkour. Puncher or versatile sprint stage on day 1, another versatile sprint on day 2, flat sprint on day 3, medium mountain finish on Valdebol on day 4, followed by another sprint stage. And this time no Tadej Pogačar on the start list, so that's pretty good. Our team is once again not the most stacked, but we do bring Matthias Kopecky to his first race of the season, 74 sprint with 73 hill stat, with I think Adria Perikas or Igor Arieta as our GC leader. That said, this first race is probably for Kopecky because I think it's gonna be a versatile sprint against the likes of Binyam Girmay, so this won't be easy. About 22 kilometers left in the race and Kopecky and the rest of my squad is on the final climb with the peloton doing quite a bit of a serious tempo, and we can see from Kopecky that his energy is not exactly liking that, so we gotta find a way to make him survive. Come on, almost there, and Kopecky is dropping through the group, so that is not fantastic. The rest of my team needs to make sure they stay in the peloton just in case I've got Javier Serrano as backup, but I think I am making it over the top. Looks like I am. There we go, Kopecky together with Serrano. He's moving up towards the train, which is on the right side of the road. We've got Noval in the wheel of Alvarez with 6.5 kilometers to go. We can go right now. We've got Arieta and Serrano with Energy Shell. Kopecky can wait until right now. Here we go. Looking pretty good now. Looking pretty good. Arieta's ready to launch already right now at 3.5. That is perfect. Noval out of the way. Alvarez out of the way. Serrano's ready for the lead out at 2 point. Let's wait a little bit longer. 2.3, 2.2. Let's go. We've got Kopecky in the wheel now. 1 corner to go. I'm going to launch right after this corner. Right now, it's slightly uphill, so can't launch too early. Binyam on the left side of the road. Kopecky in the wheel is going to be 2nd place, but yes. 2nd place for Matthias Kopecky ahead of Gonzalo Serrano, but a pretty decent final. Like, beating Binyam was always gonna be difficult at this finish, so getting 2nd is the 2nd best thing. And actually, despite Antonio Morgado being the favorite for stage 2, I feel like it's a pretty similar stage with an easier climb. So I think it's once again gonna be Binyam versus Kopecky. Oh la 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 la, what is that jersey? We've got a beautiful points jersey on the back of Matthias Kopecky, and I gotta say, looks pretty good. Anyway, this time with a 0 race day condition, so once again 74 sprints, so same as last time. There is one difference though, the climb is closer to the finish line, so we gotta top the climb in a better position than last time. Wait a second, what just happened? Why are these guys 2 minutes behind the peloton? Kopecky? What happened? We are literally 20k into the race. Get our man back. There we go, Iker Gomez Lopez with the save because that was a pretty weird incident. Anyway, the climb is about to begin, some attacks just before the climb as we speak, but we are in a pretty good position, so let's try and keep it that way. Let's do 95 on Noval to keep our train at the front. And actually, our team has a small gap, but it looks like Q36.5 is closing that. Arieta is ready to take over with 1.5k to the top, but I don't want to spill the energy of Arieta too quickly either because Kopecky is suffering a little bit with his red bar. Come on, team. There we go. That is the top of the climb. We've got Hayek and Sobrero on the right, but Kopecky is still here and we've got a solid 4-man train. Diving into the downhill in first position with Perikas, so that's pretty good. We've got 6.5 kilometers to go. All the trains are fighting for position, but we are relatively in a good spot. But of course, it's a downhill finish, so I think I'll just go right now with Arieta on full attack to try and get to the exact front of the group, and Perikas can get out of the way. NSHL on Kopecky may be too late because again, it's a downhill run-in. Now onto the flat and we've got 3 kilometers to go and I'm spending a lot of energy doing that. So let's switch back to 99 for a second. Let's launch right now with Arieta, Serrano in the wheel, Kopecky in that wheel. Serrano can launch before this corner. Kopecky perfectly in the wheel. 1.5, 1.4. Right now behind this corner. Let's go. There we go. Kopecky goes. We've got Mr. Binyam on the right. Once again a 1v1. And it's going to be Binyam once again. No, it will not. Matthias Kopecky on the line beats Binyam Girmay. There we go. I gotta confess, when we started this video, I did not expect to win so many races on this one, but Kopecky beating Binyam at Valenciana, that is a nice victory. Only 74 sprint stat for Kopecky against Binyam's 80, that's a massive difference. So this victory was all about our timing. Anyway, unlike the last two stages, we're competing on a flat finish in stage 3, so a little bit harder for a versatile sprinter like Kopecky to compete. So I think I'm hoping for a podium. I swear Perikas had fantastic form in at least 2 stages now, so I'm hoping that when the mountain stages come, that he also has this. But once again a 0 day on Kopecky, so same thing as always, 74 sprint. But hey, based on the last 2 stages, I think we can work with that. Into the last 13 kilometers as we speak with our sprint train fully set up and Benjamin Noval is doing a perfect job keeping us in position. That said, in the last 8 kilometers, I'm struggling to follow the team of Intermarché, and I think that's a strength of Intermarché on this stage. On the versatile sprint stages, they were suffering as a team and they did not have a full lead out, but this time they certainly do, so we're trying to move up now on the right and it's working. Wow, Arieta already, that is early with 4.5 kilometers to go, so I'm gonna have to go 99, but can we hold it until we need to launch with Serrano? I'm not sure I can, but these corners will certainly help, so that is good. 2.7k to go, another corner, so that's perfect. Arieta can launch before this corner to try and get us up to speed, and now Serrano can launch after this corner, and Kopecky in the perfect wheel. That is brilliant. 1 kilometer to go. There goes Kopecky right now. We've got Binyam on the right once again. It's once again a 1v1, but I simply do not have the speed in a flat sprint, so the winner is Binyam Girmay, and the spot for Mr. Kopecky is P4. I knew this stage was gonna be harder than the last 2, but I was still hoping for that podium, and 4th place just isn't it. Anyway, the gaps in GC are still very minimal and Binyam is never gonna survive those medium mountain stages, so it's time for an actual GC stage now. A medium mountain stage with quite a bit of climbing throughout the race, but most importantly the Alto Miserat with about, I would say, 15k to go. Very steep by the way, but a small climb at the finish line to Valdebo. Enric Mas is the favorite, but Adria Perikas is not too far off. 5th favorite, so we can compete. And to be honest, I would like to finish on the podium of GC in this race, so let's try that. Oh la 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 la, look at his daily form. Adria Perikas with a +2 on the day, so 81 medium mountain. That is fantastic. Kopecky with a -1, but I was already thinking that, yeah, he's not surviving that climb, so it's definitely for Perikas for us. On these climbs in the middle of the stage, I'm trying to micromanage my energy, so for example, not keeping my riders on 85 maintain position, but lowering it to 70, 75, 80 when necessary, just enough to stay in the group. Ay ay ay, just as I say that, there's a gap in the peloton, 22 riders off the front, so maybe my micromanaging gave me a pretty shit position, and hopefully we can close down the gap, and it looks like like that seems to be working. There we go, the gap is closed thanks to Novo Nordisk. The Miserat climb starts in about 8 kilometers, so I've got my team keeping Perikas in the perfect position, maybe spending a bit too much energy on my man, but looking at the peloton, they're spending even more energy. They're flying up this small hill. Okay, the climb is starting, 5 kilometers at 10%, and it is narrow, so I'm happy that my position is pretty good at the foot of the climb, so that's perfect. Still a breakaway ahead, it's 1 minute 20 ahead. It's not the strongest breakaway in the world, so we should be able to catch that quite easily, but I am losing position, so let's move it up to 86, 87. Binyam is still here, and actually, he's positioned ahead of me, so let's get past him. Like, this climb is very steep, but it feels like quite a lot of people are gonna survive this, so I'm not sure how selective this stage is gonna be. There we go, breakaway is caught, and the peloton's actually down to 27 people, so that is more selective than I thought it would be. Should I attack? Why not? There we go, Perikas over the top. That's stupid. I won't do that. There's no point in doing that. Peloton of 56 people again? That's crazy. Serrano off the back. Come on, get back. Oh, Binyam's here. Binyam's dropped. Binyam is dropped. I need to keep pushing. I need to keep pushing. I just have to. Pace 85, we have to keep Binyam behind, even though Serrano is probably our best hope of winning the stage. I'm going to try and get Arrieta to the front and try and protect Perikas as we speak. Just about 8 kilometers to go, and most of it is downhill, so I'm actually considering making a move right here with Perikas. Let's do that. Arrieta can stop Perikas' attacks. We've got De La Calle trying to follow. Come on, Perikas. 99 into the descent. This is a very risky move, but it could potentially pay off. Come on, keep going. The gap is minimal. It's like 8 seconds with 4 kilometers to go, but it's basically uphill to the finish once we reach the bottom right now, so let's go. 85, we're gonna get caught, aren't we? It's 17 seconds, but no one's actually pacing too much, so this might be the winning game. I'll just go all out right now. 99, keep on sprinting like crazy. We might get caught, but I'm trying not to. Come on, Perikas, 20 seconds is the gap. This might be the one. Morgado tries to come past. Morgado is coming past in the last few meters. Come on, Perikas. Hold the line, buddy. Hold the line. Last few meters, come on. Adria, there we go. He's taking the victory after a very risky move, but that is a nice victory. What a win, man. I must confess, I was scared when I attacked, but in the end, a beautiful victory for Adria Perikas. But of course, what does this mean for GC? Oh la 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 la, look at him. Adria Perikas on the podium, taking the lead with a single day to go in the Volta alla Comunità Valenciana, so he might take it home. Taking our second stage win in this race and also securing GC for now? Nah, I think we can scrap the for now, because the final stage is 90 kilometers, a flat sprint stage, so Adria Perikas' GC, if he doesn't crash, is secure. But of course, Binyam Girmay is the favorite for this final stage, but Matthias Kopecky, hopefully one more podium. A bit of a shame that we're starting this final stage with a 0 day on Kopecky while my entire team has +2 and +1s, because Kopecky is the most important rider today, so that's a bit devastating, but still okay. 75 sprint. In the last 7 kilometers being led by Benjamin Noval as we speak. Arrieta is ready to launch, but maybe a little bit early, so let's drop it down to 96 instead of 99. Energy Gel on Serrano right now back to 99 on Arrieta. There we go. Now it's time for Alvarez to take over, but that is with 4.1 kilometers to go, so a little bit early. I'll once again have to drop the tempo, which is not exactly ideal because Intermarché is going to storm past us on the right now. We've got Serrano ready, but again a little bit early. This is not the best timing of a lead out, that is for sure. Serrano can launch right now, try and come past, but we're in Narnia. We are in Narnia, so this is not working. We're not even going to come close to a podium. Maybe 5th place? But I'm getting blocked by Tyson? No, I'm not. Piffy versus Kopecky for 5th place. Binyam wins and we finish on a 6th place. So, bit of a disappointing final. Perikas, don't lose time. I think he's in the peloton, so that's okay. Anyway, not every stage can go perfectly, I guess. And I think it's fair to say that winning GC and 2 stages is still a net positive. Adria Perikas bringing home a 1-week stage race for the team. That might be his best performance of his entire time at our team. Actually, in 2026, he did not win a single race for us. So his stage win and the GC are his first 2 victories for this team. That's pretty crazy. Like, in our first episode of this season, we had pretty consistent results, but 0 victories, so that certainly changed today. Sure, it's smaller races, but it still matters. And that's very visible in the World Tour ranking, moving up from 4th place into 2nd with our team, so the 2nd best team in the world. And actually, I'm not done yet. I was about to say I want to try to win the Vuelta a la Región de Murcia Costa Calida, but Tadej Pogačar is here. There is a solid climb in the last 20 kilometers, but I'm hoping that Matthias Kopecky, our versatile sprinter, can survive it. Otherwise, we're going for Adria Pericas. So basically, our same team as Valenciana, but now against Pogačar. Okay, starting off with a +2 on Matthias Kopecky, so that's +1 on his sprint stats, so 75 sprint, and 76 hill stat, which will be necessary because that final climb is pretty steep. And this Tadej Pogačar character is a pretty solid cyclist. Just about in the middle of the stage, and there's actually a 7km 8% climb here, so gotta make sure Mr. Kopecky does not get dropped here. I am literally pacing on 99 maintain position, completely out of red bar just to survive in the group, and it seems to be working, but it might split in the descent. Over the top as we speak, but in the last couple of positions in the peloton, so this is not brilliant. And there's splits happening as we speak, so we gotta make sure we make our way back to the front with Kopecky somehow. Such a way behind. Come on, Gomez Lopez, the gap is 1:20 right now. You can close it, I believe in you. Okay, thanks to Iker Gomez Lopez, we're now back properly in the peloton, but I gotta say, that was a lot more difficult than I expected, and it's not exactly promising for the final climb. Here we go, the climb is about to begin. Mintegi is leading our team as we speak. Serrano, Kopecky and Pericas in the wheel. Steinar is protecting, so that is okay. We gotta get Kopecky over the top. There goes Pablo Torres, so let's try and follow that. We've got lots of responses by Storer, Ponomar. This is so incredibly dark, by the way. Pacing on 90 as we speak, and it's super steep right here. 11%, and we're still in the wheels, so that's nice. I have not seen Pogačar yet. Pogačar is sitting right here, and we are pacing quite well with Mintegi. Kopecky is done for when it comes to his red bar, so that is not brilliant, but Serrano is our backup just in case, but I think this is the top. Yeah, we survived. Out of the darkness, into the light with 4 riders as we speak. Kopecky is regenerating energy quite quickly, so that is good, and I reckon we have enough for a lead out. Last 6 kilometers, there goes Mintegi on 99 right now. Pericas in the wheel, Serrano and Gigel, Kopecky as well. Serrano may be a little bit too late in that. Pericas takes over on 99, that is good. We've got a move by Filippo Zana at a pretty good moment. We've got an entire train for Tadej Pogačar on the left side of the road, but they're not following through. Serrano is ready to launch pretty soon, can move up now. Not launch yet, not launch yet. Right now with Kopecky in the wheel, pretty perfect. Pogačar in our wheel, but Kopecky is a better sprinter on paper. Sobrero on the left, let's stop Serrano right now. Kopecky versus Pogačar, Kopecky versus Pogačar, and he does it! There we go, Tadej Pogačar loses against Matthias Kopecky. That is crazy. Like, sure, beating Pogačar in a flat sprint finish after a climb is not a shocking surprise, but seeing that result, Kopecky above Pogačar, is still crazy to see, in my opinion. Just look at the stats of this man. 83 hill stat and not even trying to attack on that final climb. So yeah, as a consequence, Matthias Kopecky beats him in the sprint. And I think that's the perfect moment to end today's episode. Next time we'll take on some more one-day races in Spain, followed by Andalusia and Algarve. The first time we'll see both Lorenzo Finn and Ivan Romeo in action this year, so I'm looking forward to that. But hey, that's it for today. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye!